The game changers in corporate boardrooms.
To the decision makers in political corridors.
Business Tonight defines the contours of business.
Through the most prominent corporate czars.
And decoding Wall Street with an Indian outlook.
Your business takes full circle every night on Business Tonight.
Only on ET Now.
The market has grown more because of the liquidity which is externally driven rather than because of some fundamental changes in the market or in the economy.
Catch UK Sinha in a stimulating dialogue with George Cherian on ET Interview only on ET Now.
लाइफ में कितनी भी बड़ी प्रॉब्लम हो ना, बस दिल पर हाथ रख के बोलो ऑल इज वेल। रिलायंस लाइफ इंश्योरेंस के प्लान्स, अब चिंता छोड़कर बोलिए।
Hello and welcome to Starting Up. I'm Abha Bakaya and I'm going to take you through the most exciting show when it comes to the Indian startup community. We have an extremely diverse and action-packed episode lined up for you. Let's get right into it by telling you what you can expect. On the show today, a startup which could well become your best companion every late night out. On Capital Ideas, we profile a venture capital firm which has set a scorching deal flow pace. On Toolkit, we tell you how you can get funding without giving up any equity whatsoever. And finally, on Elevator Pitch, a startup that's going to make your mouth water. It's the weekend, you're out and about, you decide to go to a nice wine bar like the Tasting Room, which is where we're at today. However, after a few drinks, you suddenly realize you're not really fit to drive back home and you feel stranded. Well, our startup showcase this week makes sure that you don't find yourself in that situation and that your weekend is both enjoyable and safe. Nikhilesh Sinha reports.
There are about 4 people on average who die on Delhi roads every single day just because of drunken driving.
Be my baby.
Sometimes a great night out can end up going horribly wrong. In the thrill of the night, at the scene of the crime, he arrives just in time to drive your car when you shouldn't. Consultants Shivin and Nikhil started Home Safe with the idea that many people need to be driven home after a night of revelry.
I was a designated driver at quite a few parties for my friends, so I had to drop people from parties in South Delhi to Gurgaon or Noida or some other part of Delhi. So that was quite inconvenient for me. So thinking over it, pondering over it, one day with Nikhil, we just came about the idea that, okay, what could be a service like this, if there can be a service like this which could cater to the need of people like me who could not drop people around Delhi and just someone have them drive back home safe.
Once they hit upon the idea, the duo put on an online survey involving 300 respondents, and the germ of a business idea began to take root. They co-invested 6 lakh rupees from their personal savings, and the first step was to register their company.
Well, we were of course faced with the dilemma of whether we should go for a partnership or we should go for a private limited. After talking to our CA and talking to a couple of people who have their own companies, we decided that it's best if we start a private limited, simply because a private limited is very well defined in terms of what are the various things that can happen, and a partnership leads to unlimited liability, which is something that at this stage of at this age as well as the stage of the business, I don't think we were ready for that higher risk.
होम सेफ का मतलब है लोगों को सुरक्षित उनके घर तक पहुंचाना.
The next step was giving the drivers some on-ground training. This was done only after scrutinizing their backgrounds.
We have done police verification of all our drivers. having and check their previous employers, the references from previous employers, and check them, make them drive various cars just to get an idea of, yes, are they capable of handling different cars or not.
We have about 60 drivers now, and we interviewed over 220 drivers to get those 60 drivers.
Keeping in mind the kind of clientele the service is targeted at, HomeSafe has priced their service at 650 rupees for pick-up and drop, and 250 rupees per hour for a drop after midnight. Ambitious pricing? Well, their customers certainly don't think so.
If you compare to what you have to face if you get into a trouble, being behind the wheel, and you're not supposed to be behind the wheel at that time, I think it's a very fair price. And if you really look at it, if you have 2 or 3 people with you, and if you split it down, it's cheaper than a bottle of beer.
Another key challenge was in marketing the service, and for this the founders came up with some unique ideas.
We've started a responsible drinking campaign which is being run across bars in South Delhi and Gurgaon, and they have small messages which talk about, think about what you're doing. Are you sure you want to drive drunk? Or just basically small things which are thought provoking. And the bar has their logo over there, and we have a number at the bottom. And if anyone sees that, it can be a coaster, or it can be a tent card, or there can be a poster outside the outlet or wherever.
Good going for the startup that has been in business for only 3 months, and this is reflected in their performance so far.
Currently, we're managing to break even on operating expenses on a month-to-month basis. Hopefully that should continue, and if that does continue, in about 6 to 8 months, we foresee that we should also break even on our capital expenses.
Yes, Delhi night crawlers can enjoy a night out with the peace of mind that they will get home safe. Now, HomeSafe's founders, Shivan and Nikhil, are planning to launch a full service where you can get a chauffeur anytime you like, 24 hours a day, anywhere. I'm sure it's going to be a success given their track record. The best part is that they've made Delhi's roads a lot safer. And when I go out drinking, I don't need to worry about who's driving.
Well, isn't that fantastic? Now you won't have to be the designated driver next time you decide to go out with friends. On that note, I'm getting hungry, so I'm going to go take a very quick break. Do the same, but hurry back. Coming up, we catch up with Nexus Capital India, one of India's only early-stage VC firms.
We track the biggest corporate stories and keep you on the